How to talk to someone you don't want to, but have to. Smart ways to respond to conflict at work and at home. With Wave Bannister, emotional therapist and author.
Communication types to know about when you need to talk to someone that you don't want to, but have to. The first one we'll cover today is an extrovert-introvert. An extrovert is not somebody who jumps on a piano with a lampshade at New Year's and does a song and dance. And an introvert is not someone with a pen pocket protector that says, yeah, my name is Wave. An extrovert is someone who thinks better when they're talking. It was enlightening to me when I was in business selling real estate that I would give a formidable presentation to my clients, and the whole time they were not responding, so I would interject with, of course, if this doesn't work, we can do that, or something else. And all the time they were looking at me going, gosh, doesn't this guy ever shut up? So understanding that some people don't react and talk at the same speed that you do, and they reflect more, it's not better or worse, it's just different. The second kind of communication type you should be aware of when you're communicating with someone that you may not want to but have to is someone who is visually oriented. Some of my clients would say, Wave, do you see what I'm talking about with this problem? And I would look at them and go, well, it looks to me like you've caught sight of a particular challenge. Or if they were auditory, they would go, Wave, do you hear what I'm trying to say? And I would respond with, well, it sounds to me like. Or if they were kinesthetic, they would go, Wave, this just doesn't feel right to me. I've got a problem here. And I would put my hand on their shoulder and say, I think I've got a sense of what you're trying to say. These methods of communication that people use endeared me right away to them because I could mirror them and get into sync with them. Another type of communication are those individuals who trust. Some people trust completely and some people trust incrementally. I was originally the complete trust type. Make yourself at home, there's my car, there's the fridge. However, if they broke my trust for any reason, boom, 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 I would build up a wall and they would have a hard time bringing that wall down again. Then there are the incremental types who never trusted me completely anyway, so if I break their trust in one way, it's not that big of a deal. So I would see someone who was incremental and say, well, you're not like me. Of course, incremental types would look at me and go, well, you're not like me, you just let anybody in like this? You're crazy. So understanding how people trust, how they use keys for visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or whether they're an extrovert or an introvert, these are elements of communication you need to incorporate in understanding when you're communicating with someone. Body language is a lot more than just crossed arms. You know what this means typically. Even if I say, no, I'm not angry, you know I'm upset. If someone starts to cough when you're talking to them, it's usually because their esophagus has just shrunken. You've touched on a sensitive point and they have to readjust their breathing. Breathing is very reflective of how someone feels. If someone starts to touch their nose when you're communicating, they're in disagreement with you in some way. If someone suddenly puts a hand over their mouth, I hope you heard that. Here's an example. I had a police captain in San Francisco who attended one of my workshops, and he mentioned how he would treat or teach his officers when they're on the scene pulling a car over. If they were asking a question like, have you ever been to jail? Have you been drinking? If they suddenly put their hand over their mouth, it was probably an indication they were lying. So most communication is 55% body language, 35% tone, and only 10% words. Keep this in mind when you're communicating with different types of people. Check out my website for more free videos, free book chapters, a free newsletter, and remember the secret of all moms and athletes. Take a deep breath. This is number 3 in a series of 5. The next one, number 4, is about pattern and types. I'm Wave Bannister. Thank you for joining me.